So let's say you're looking in your server logs and you find an IP address. You want to know who does that belong to? Is that somebody on Comcast? Is it is it somebody in China? Is it somebody in Russia? Or is it somebody in the office? So you'll take an IP address, and I could say,
You want to share your screen?
Is it not shared?
I'm looking at your face.
Dang, that's unfortunate. Okay, share entire screen.
There you go.
Ah. So let's take some random IP address because I don't have a good example. Let's say host, let's see, 68.45.3.44. This is kind of a long shot. Hey, it's a Comcast address. So I'm using this host command to give me this information. And it kind of does a reverse lookup on the name. In this case, it's probably HSD Michigan, maybe? Anyways, it gives us a name, and that can help us to kind of get an idea of who that is. But also, there's something called Whois, and you can run Whois against an IP address. And get back the owners of that particular IP address. So all IPs are registered with ARIN, which is kind of the folks who run the internet, essentially. They manage the addresses. We've given them that power, or the government has. And here we see that that it's managed by Comcast Cable Communications. And this whole block belongs to them. So we could take that block, and since a customer of Comcast might get any old IP address, you might choose to go in your firewall and block that entire range. All right, so let's say we, I know I pitched this as hackers, but let's say we have another host name or a domain name that we want to look up. So let's look up Cellar Labs. So hostlabs.com, and we can quickly see that the A record, or rather the name, the number associated with this name, is 74.50. I might say, well, most of our stuff is hosted on Amazon, but I thought that a lot of things in Amazon were in the 50 range, for example, at least in Virginia. So I'm going to do a Whois on that. It turns out this address, this server, is hosted on REMU hosting, and in fact it is. Also, we can tell with the Whois that our mail is handled through Google. And it shows us here our priorities, our MX record priorities. And so first, mail will try to be delivered to this aspmxlgoogle.com. We can be sure with www.cellarlabs that the A record for www is also pointed at HubSpot, which, look at that, it's not. I mean, sorry, for Cellar Labs is pointed at REMU, but it's not. www is now hosted by HubSpot, so you could ask the sysadmin or somebody, and I could tell you that on REMU we have a forwarder that takes you from cellarlabs.com and forwards you on to www.cellarlabs.com. And also, this address, this HubSpot, is actually an alias for an Akamai server and the Akamai server has these addresses. So it'll kind of resolve all the aliases out for you until it finds some IP addresses, which is kind of what you're looking for. Then, of course, I could run a Whois on that and see that Akamai owns this address. Org Akamai. So these folks, Akamai has registered with AREN. They've asked for this block of IP addresses, and it's harder and harder to get a big block of IP addresses. So you got to be special. Schools are good at getting lots of IPs. Anyways, that's not the topic. But let's say we want to know. Say we want slabs so that we can advertise our talks. So host slabs.com. Somebody already owns it. We don't know who. So whois.slabs.com. Oh, this might be the first time I'm using Whois against a name. So I just used a generic Whois server, and it came back with the Whois using the whoisnetworksolutions.com server, because this registrar the registrar of this domain is Network Solutions. Whoever bought Slabs bought it through, or has most recently registered it and has it registered through Network Solutions. We can see any abuse email address. We can see when it was registered. Let's see. So updated on this date, created here, and most importantly, when is it going to expire? So they've registered it out through 2017. And we can sometimes get names. Sometimes people like to hide their names so that they don't have their phone numbers and emails out there on the internet so that they end up getting spammed. But it's I have my personal information out there, and it's never been a problem. I'm sure it could be, but whatever. It also tells us what our name servers are. So these are the primary name servers for this domain name. Another way we can get, so thinking about DNS a little bit, is to use a program called dig. Host is similar. So if I wanted to know the name servers for slabs.com, I could say host nsslabs.com. Couldn't get host address for slabs.com. What am I doing wrong, Brandon?
Yeah, that's fine. Just because the name's registered doesn't mean it actually has to have name servers and stuff.
True. So maybe they're just squatting on this name, which is common.
I think he had two B's in it before, though. SLABBS.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Which one are you looking up?
No server. Oh, look, I'm using it wrong. -T.
Yeah, I usually use dig minus TNS, but I think dig gives you a lot more verbose output.
So here we are. We, for Solo Labs, have our DNS registered with AWS using their Route